And we are live. What's good, y'all? It's your man, DL Saint. Welcome. I really want to know podcast, man. How y'all feeling? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. We had yesterday was a holiday, man. So we got an extra day, extra holiday. We got an extra day, bro. So you guys know I'm be playing with the lights and stuff like that, trying to get things just so. Um, yeah, man. We got a lot to talk about. As you can see, I'm kind of like scatterbrained a little bit. Like my mind's everywhere. I'm watching the Lex Friedman Donald Trump interview, probably like most of the world. And I got to tell you, I'm pretty sure that Donald Trump's handlers are going crazy. You know, if you are a Trump fan, this is the kind of stuff that you love, that you're accustomed to. If you are not a Trump fan, this is the stuff that makes you wonder what the hell. And if you're in the middle, if you're a part of that small percentage of Americans who are going to choose the next president, I don't think Trump did himself any favors here. Um, there were definitely no talking points he was trying to stick to. He was off the cuff. He was just saying what he's saying, and it's just Lex Friedman sitting there listening. And in my opinion, Lex was doing everything he could to help Trump out. He's definitely not looking for any gotcha moments. He's not trying to trip him up. He's just asking real questions, and he's not getting any answers. Now, I know a lot of people say, hey man, politicians don't regularly give answers. I get you. But but they have talking points. And Trump just didn't seem to have any. And I'm not hearing any answers to any of the substantive questions. Like, what's your policy on this going to be? How you feel on that? How would you do this? How would you do that? I wasn't hearing any answers. And here's the thing: Kamala Harris, she's not taking interviews, so you got it on both sides. But oh my God, this race right here is one for the ages. But that's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to talk about is Americans. We can't afford to live in America. Cost of living is out of control, man. We all know that. Let's get into it. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Get some indeed. But it's kind of crazy. Brother Pablo's in the building. What's good, fam? Talking about Trump, like I wish he would stick to the issues. Yeah, bro, you and the entire Republican Party wishes he would stick to the issues, man. It is what it is. They're into the race. Brother Michael Lee's in the building. What's good, fam? Appreciate you, brother. And I will definitely keep it up, man. I can. Hey, you see our numbers are growing, man. People are checking in. They're tuning in. They're watching. You know what I mean? Like YouTube is real good about analytics. Shout out to Myron and Fresh and Fit platform showing me love. They're sending people my way. I really appreciate that. Shout out to all my Suzette speakers who are still rocking with me, my day ones. I got them from Suzette Speaks platform. Base Oracle, we got folks coming over from Base Oracle's camp. So I appreciate all of y'all. It goes on and on and on. We got people from Black Man Unfiltered, discovered me and came through. It goes on and on and on. We people from Matthew Cox's platform, came over and checked us out after that interview, man. So I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you guys. And anyone who's been watching me, you guys know where I stand on this, bro. I'm like it is what it is. It's fascinating to watch this race. Still too close to call. Like when the polls come in and they're well outside of the margin of error, that's when you can kind of start saying someone has a lead. But right now, I haven't checked the latest polls, but right now it's still too close to call. It is what it is. And, every interview at this point counts. The debate is going to count. What happens in the world's going to count. Like you see what's going on in Gaza. You see what's going on with those innocent hostages who were deleted. And That is, I talked to all those young liberal types. You're talking about the Palestinians. You're talking about Hamas, right? You're talking about Hezbollah. You're talking about these people who go around and they just kill. That's who you're supporting. It's like, well, no, we're supporting the Palestinian people. Like, well, most of the Palestinian people support these folks. So it's really hard to separate the two. So you got that, yeah, it's just a matter of time before America starts thumping with Iran. America might have to start thumping with Russia. And even though the people of Russia don't want anything to do with it, but they're powerless to remove Putin, the strong man who's in power right there. So there's all sorts of stuff going on, and China's waiting in the wings. So it's just one of those things, bro. But the biggest thing is here in America, while all this other stuff is going on, right? You got the election, you got, the unrest in Europe and in the Middle East and potentially in China. You got all this kind of stuff going on. What America and American leadership is not talking about, they're not talking about folks who can't afford to live. Regular Americans are getting destroyed right now. This has been going on forever. No one ever talks about it. You guys ever notice that? You guys ever notice that when it comes to elections and this and that, no one talks about the average American, and you ask the average American, they'll all tell you they're middle class. Everybody's middle class. I noticed that back in the 80s when I was a kid, like everyone's middle class. The rich people I knew were middle class. Oh, we're upper middle class. The regular folks I knew were middle class. Oh, we're middle class. We work at the factory. The poor people I knew were middle class. We're lower middle class. We're not downtrodden. We're just trying to figure it out. Everybody was middle class. And that trend continues through to today. Everybody wants to claim middle class. It's like, all right. But when you really look at middle class right now in America, most Americans don't qualify. Right now, we're at a point where either you have it or you don't. You are rich or you are not. Right? You got people right now, again, the median house, the median house price in America is 400,000 or 415,000, I think, depending on what numbers you use. Right? You look at like the average car in America, well over 50 grand. Average new car, 50 grand. You look at insurance, right? Just those three things alone, those three things, Americans can't even afford all that, bro. So we're going to watch a couple of videos. We're going to talk about it, man. So like, to me, people ask me about this election. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. If you don't have money and influence, doesn't matter who winds up in the White House, because Congress is going to do what Congress does. And guess what? Regular people are going to suffer. So I got a couple of videos lined up, guys. I want you to check out the video. Let me know what you guys think. Dr. B's in the building. What's good, fam? Always a pleasure to see you. When I was an air traffic controller, life was pretty good, man. I was single, I ain't having any kids. I was well into the six figures. But the minute I got a kid, the minute, had to, get ran through the family court system, right? The minute all that sort of stuff happened, and mind you guys, it was my fault. No one else's fault. Mine. I knew what time it was. I did what I did. It is what it is. But the minute you take into account all that and these things start to go down, you realize just how expensive the world really is. And I was living in LA at the time. Now, making what I was making, if I were living here in Tampa, or if I were living in Cincinnati, or if I were living somewhere in the South, it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, because you were doing so well, that kind of money, six figures plus in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, that's good money. Like you making six figures, you got savings, you taking vacations, you can have 2-3 kids if you want. You can have a stay-at-home wife, slant mom, if that's what she wants to do. You can afford 2 cars. You can do it. At least you could up until about 4 years ago. Now, bro, it's hardly anywhere in America you can go where you can live pretty good on 6 figures. And that should be very, very troubling to everybody, man. It's to everybody. So we're going to watch this video. We got a couple of videos lined up. Just 2. This is from Zach Rios. Don't know who he is, but I just recently subscribed. I suggest you do the same. He's been talking about inflation in 2024. Let's check out what this brother has to say. It's good stuff here.
I just honestly don't know how people are making it.
It's insane. $40,000 for a Honda Accord.
I essentially don't have any money for 3 weeks.
So in today's video, we're going to be going a little bit more in depth on the cost of living. Now, I made a video a couple months ago. However, I didn't show too many of these statistics in 2024, especially comparing to what it was like a few years ago, pre-COVID. I mean, we could even go back a decade and see the big differences. And we have very recent information now all the way up to July of 2024. So it's not like a lot of these clips or information back when it was at its peak during COVID. So we do have a lot of statistics to go over, a lot of clips, and your comments. So if you want to be in future videos, leave your comments down below. But we're going to start off with some basic information. Of course, we always have the graph that the government will show, and everything's back on track. We're getting close to that 2% inflation. You could see all the way back from 2014, but people really care about the 2021 to 2024. You could see how crazy it got: 7%, 6.5%, and then dropping down to 3.4 and 2.9. But it's basically an open secret that this is not actually accurate. This is just what the government sends out to try to calm everybody in the nation, even though it's definitely way worse than what the White House is sending out to the news agencies to report on. But we could actually look.
I've never watched this brother's platform before, but I'm just checking out his editing. It's like, wow. I guess if I were to edit, it would. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, I wouldn't have it sounding like that. But editing is very, very time intensive. And he's probably like just learning and getting frustrated. So you see the jump cuts. It's like real herky jerky. It is what it is, but he's getting his message out there. He's right about numbers that come from the White House. And it doesn't matter who's in the White House. Republicans do it, Democrats do it. When they give projections, people, hear these projections and they're like, it's these headline numbers and the GDP growth, like, we had a record month for jobs in this quarter, or jobs went down in that quarter, or whatever. The problem, what's been going on lately here, is the downward revisions. So we talk about that all the time. The government will put out numbers, these stellar numbers. Wall Street hears these numbers, they like what they hear, and things happen in Wall Street, right? But then, weeks later, the true numbers come out and they call them revisions, and then the downward revisions are huge. Right? It's like, wait a minute, you just said we had created, just making up numbers here. You said we created 100 million new jobs in America over that last quarter. Then the revisions come out and it's like, we actually lost 100,000 jobs over that same period. So not the 100 million that you said, we actually lost 100,000 of what we had before that number. So these are the numbers they put out to pacify, maybe appease Wall Street. It's all a play. It's all a game. This is their version of the Chase Bank glitch. This is what they're doing. This is how they do it. And trust me, billions of dollars moves on these reports, billions of dollars, right? And then when you ask them about the revisions, they'll tell you we had revisions, but they broadcast the big number and then they come back and they're quiet as a mouse with the revision, right? Thanks for coming to today's briefing. Oh, by the way, the revised numbers are out. So I'll see y'all later. Bye. Right? And like, what revised numbers for what? What numbers? Huh? And you got to go dig through the press report, the press release, and find out what they're talking about. But at the end of the day, Americans are suffering, right? Americans know how much stuff costs. Americans know how much their insurance costs. I mean, we're not even getting into healthcare. We're just talking about auto and home. Right. It is crazy right now. You're looking at what rent is hitting for in America right now. He's going to have some numbers on there that's definitely worth checking out. It's crazy. Brother Michael's like, DL, that's why financial freedom is the key before starting a family and most of getting your health and purpose in order. 100%. Yeah, you definitely want to have financial freedom and set up before you start a family. But here, this is how the world works, bro. You do your thing. If you make a misstep, you just can't say, okay, do over or call a mulligan or whatever. You got to roll with the punches, so to speak. But you're absolutely right. People should plan that sort of thing out. You really should. But, we talk about dating over here, and tomorrow we're going to get back into it. But dating is so difficult these days. It's really hard to focus on what needs to happen. And at the same time, get yourself focused on how are you going to go out and find yourself a good man and or woman? How are you going to vet these people? How are you going to build your life with someone when they're out there running game and you have no idea what's going on because you've been focused doing the right thing? So this is why we talk about this stuff over here. It's really different. It's easy to say this is how things should be, and you're 100% correct, brother. You should get yourself together. You should have your finances in order. You should have financial freedom. You should be debt free. You know what I mean? You should be doing these things. But it's really difficult when that monkey wrench come in the form of this beautiful woman who's like the perfect thing, the girl of your dreams. And she's telling you everything you want to hear, and she's doing things. And you're like, this is amazing. And then bam, you realize that, oh my goodness, she ran game on me. Same thing happens to women when they come across the wrong dude, right? You focus on doing the right thing, but you get sidetracked. So, but that's just how it is, man. That's how it is, brother. AJ's in the building. What's good, fam? Good to see you. All my Castle Club brothers in here and sisters. We got a few of y'all out there. If y'all here, welcome, welcome. For those of you guys who are in Castle Club and in the city groups, you'll notice I've been really quiet, not really doing a lot of movement inside of our groups, but we're up and running now. We're back to it. We had to take care of some stuff. Had to talk to Myron and Fresh and some other people about some things. Now we got everything sorted out. And now we're gearing up to go back to 100%, full go. So if you guys are in Castle Club, don't worry, you'll be hearing from me soon. I know a lot of people have hit me up on Telegram. Don't worry, you'll be hearing from me over the next 3 days. You'll be hearing from me. We're gonna get everyone sorted out. So I appreciate y'all. But let's get back to the video.
Look into some more statistics that show a little bit more of what people care about it. Food, shelter, car prices, all of that. The cost of shelter has rose by 5.2% in the past year, June 2023 to 24. And I'm not going to say it over and over again, but almost all of these percentage points are going to be higher than the inflation at 2.9% that we're at. So I'm not just going to keep repeating myself. Transportation services, another major spending group, increased 9.4%. So we're almost at double digits right now. Average cost of full coverage in car insurance increased by 26%. Now, I've talked about this before.
Y'all see that, man? The average cost in car insurance, 26%. Right? You did the other things that he was pointing out. You see how these numbers are going up and up and up and up. I'll tell you what's not going up. That is people's earning potential. That is, what you're getting paid working for whoever you're working for. It's harder and harder to find careers. It's harder and harder to get with a corporation that's going to take care of its employees. It's really hard to find a corporation that's union friendly or has unions, right? Say what you want about unions. Unions guarantee working wages for the worker. It gives you a voice. Now, there's a bad side to unions. Absolutely. There is, right? But you want a union. People have been somehow tricked, Jedi mind tricked into believing that unions are a bad thing. I wonder who made that happen, right? I wonder. I'm here to tell you the money I made and the benefits we had as an air traffic controller were due to our union, NACA, the National Air Traffic Controllers Association, one of the strongest unions in the country. Very politically tied, one of the strongest PACs you'll ever come across. The things that we had, like the work rules that we had, the pay that we were guaranteed, the way overtime was distributed, the way promotions came down, differential pays, all that sort of stuff came from the union. That was all negotiated. Union, the workers versus management, in this case, the government. Right? So air traffic controllers' wages have kept up with inflation, right? Air traffic controllers have benefits. They get paid time off. They have all sorts of things, and that's because of the union. You're not getting that at Target. You're not getting that at Walmart, right? You're not getting that at your local grocery store unless you're with Publix or Kroger's. Kroger's has a union. But, even when you look at construction and all that, non-union work, bro, like it's blowing up and people are taking less just to get the job. This is how it is. This is how capitalism works. But I'm telling you guys, you need to unionize. You need to organize. Look at what's going on in CVS and Walgreens, right? Look at what's going on in Target and Walmart and all that with just checkout aisles, right? How long before they start firing humans and hiring robots to stock the shelves? I was just at Target a few minutes ago. We were in there just picking up some stuff, and I'm watching the people walking around, checking merchandise, putting stuff up on the shelves, doing their things. How long before the robots are doing that? Right? You see what they're doing at checkout. At Target, there's only one checkout that's not, self checkout that's open. I remember once going to Target. It was like early in the morning, maybe like 8, 9 in the morning or something like that. They had only been open like maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Had a shopping cart full of stuff. I went and got a bunch of stuff. And I go to check out and it's like only self checkout. And they're like, well, I'm like, well, can someone open up this checkout out? And I'll go through there. They're like, nope, we're not doing it. Okay. I just walked away, left the cart right there. Right. Literally, it must have been $400 worth of stuff. I had some electronics in there. Like it was like when I first moved here. So I was like buying a bunch of stuff, linen and towels and stuff like that and cleaning supplies. And like I said, I had some electronics in there, had a whole bunch of stuff. Might be like $300. I left that cart right there. Just left. Bye. Like, all right, then bye. And they were shocked. And then next time I went in there, guess what? They had one aisle open. There's always one aisle open. Just the one. So during the week, like Monday through Thursday. So how long before your job is replaced? And if you have a white collar job and you're thinking like, well, I'm good because I have all this college education. I mean, by God, I'm an attorney. AI can do your job way better than you. Most attorneys just do research. AI can do it in a fraction of the time. It takes the best attorney to look stuff up. Paralegals, attorneys, think about it. AI is here, bro. Yeah, y'all better start organizing. I'm just letting you know. Your brother Michael Lee is at the end of the day, we all have choices. Keep preaching DL. I appreciate that, bro. We absolutely do. Brother Pablo, marry a not so beautiful woman who is educated and earns more than YO7 do. More than you do, I think. Then you can threaten to divorce her. Yeah, I see what Brother Pablo is saying. Like, yeah, if you're going to marry someone I see what you're saying. Marry a not so beautiful woman who is educated and earns more than you do. Right. We talked about that. We talk about that over here all the time. If you have nothing to lose, like if you really don't have anything, and someone who has a lot wants to marry you, by all means, marry that person. Marry her. You could be married who's not that pretty. It could be married who's a model. You know what I mean? If you can think about it, Tom Brady's ex-wife, Giselle, whatever her last name is, left him and started dating the judo instructor or whatever. If that guy could get her to marry him, he won. Right? He won. Even if he signs the prenup is going to spell out what he gets. He won the game. So yeah, you just gotta think it through. And Brother Pablo was like, "Then you can threaten to divorce her." I would never threaten. If you're gonna do it, just do it. Just do it if you're gonna do it. But you got a point there. It becomes, her friends will tell her like it's cheaper to keep him. Because these dudes be saying it's cheaper to keep her, and these ladies are gonna be like, yeah, it's cheaper to keep him. So but no, this is where we are right now, man. Americans can't afford to live. Let's keep going.
We would go over people's insane car payments, including insurance and the price of cars in general. And then I talked about my really high car payment. I mean, it's still $200 a month for a 9-year-old Civic, but you could see insurance has increased by 26% across the board. So that's why everybody's complaining about car insurance. It doesn't matter if you're the safest driver on the planet right now, doing everything right, your insurance is still increased dramatically in literally the past year. This isn't even a pre-COVID to post-COVID, 2023 to 24. It's jumped by 26%. 49% of credit card holders are carrying a balance month to month. That's half of everybody who has a credit card. Now you could clearly see where all of these banks make a ridiculous amount of money with their interest payments if half of these people aren't actually paying off their balances. And of that group, 43% of their debt is due to unexpected or emergency expenses, which I hope is genuinely the truth and people aren't just doom spending and buying every little thing that brings them the slightest amount of joy and don't really care about paying it back and going into massive amount of debt. But either way, the credit card company does not care about it at all. They're going to still make money off of those interest payments and you're just going to be screwed. So we have a clip here talking about the differences of the cost of life from 1980 all the way up to today in 2024. And it is honestly just unbelievable.
So they're about to get into this, but he's right about the credit card debt. No one has any savings, bro. Just keep it 100. The vast majority of Americans do not have savings. They were saying that 50% of Americans who have credit cards are carrying credit card debt. What he didn't talk about is the massive defaults and people are behind. Things are happening. Stuff happens. Like your car breaks down. Like no one has any savings. Like you're driving a car. Let's say you got your car and you're into your third year. and your bumper to bumper coverage is gone, right? You have no more warranty, and then something happens, or you need a brake job or you blow some tires or something like that. You got to pay for that, bro. You got to pay for that. The average American cannot handle an unexpected expense of what, $500, I think it is. They can't handle that without using the credit card. And with everything going up, with the increase to your insurance premiums, with the increase to your rent, or like your mortgage, like your insurance goes up on your homeowner's insurance, so you get that increase to your mortgage. More money, more of your hard-earned money goes to those bills. And then what are you left to do? You gotta stretch at the end of the month. What do? You got to use the credit card to buy groceries. You got to use the credit card to buy gas. Gas went up, groceries went up, right? So now you're like, well, what do I do? And most people say, well, just go get another job. Well, you're already working 2 jobs. Like, you got a full-time job and a part-time job. It's like, so what do? You got to go out and do some of the side hustle. Like, okay, I'm gonna drive Uber, which puts more pressure on your car, which means you're gonna need more tune-ups, more oil changes, more brakes, more tires. You see, it's a vicious cycle. The bottom line is Americans just can't afford to live in America. Brother Pitney in the building. Was good, man.
The millennials and Gen Zers who are complaining that they can't buy a house are not working for minimum wage. These are people making $60, $70, $80, $90,000 a year who can no longer afford a house. But minimum wage workers are also complaining because they can't afford rent. If you look back to 1980, the rent was $243. Minimum wage was $3.10, meaning your monthly gross was $496. So to rent this apartment, it would be 48.9% of your gross income back in 1980. But let's fast forward to 2024. The average rent is $17.47. The federal minimum wage is $7.25, giving you $11.60. You can't even get an apartment with the federal minimum wage. But let's be generous and double the federal minimum wage, because people at Walmart and fast food joints are making $14.50 to $15. So $14.50 would bring you to $23.20. So technically you're making more, but this is your gross, and it'd be 75% of your gross income, making double the federal minimum wage in 2024. But let's take it even a step further. ZipRecruiter said that the starting pay for college graduates is $24 an hour. So that would be $38.40 a month. So someone with a bachelor's degree could afford this 1-bedroom apartment, but it would be 45.4% of their gross income. A college graduate is spending the same amount of their income on rent as the minimum wage worker in 1980 did. Roughly the same. And the minimum wage worker in 1980 put on a hat, learned skills for 2 weeks, and started their job. A bachelor's degree spent 4, 5, 6 years of their life in school and $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, and now have to spend the same amount of money on rent as a minimum wage worker did in 1980.
And here we could take a look at some.
That right there says it all, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That is the problem. Now, the Republicans and the Democrats in DC, right, in your state legislatures, they all understand this. Every last one of them. They get it. They get it. Yet they're doing nothing about it. Nothing. So it doesn't really matter who you vote for, who you send to DC. Not really. It does matter who is running your town, who's running your county, and who's running your state. The big thing that Americans need to do, forget about team this and team that. Y'all, what we need to do is get the dark money out of politics. The reason why the elected officials aren't doing anything to help you out is because when they get to DC or when they get to that state house in whatever state they're in, the 1% is coming with a bag. They're coming with all kind of, listen, I need you to do this, and here's that. And I don't care who you are, bro. At some point, you're going to listen to them. You need their money just to keep the office. If you just want to be in office, you need their money. You need them to donate to your campaign. You need their backing. You have to take the dark money out of politics. Citizens United has to be overturned. Term limits. We need term limits at every level. And you got to do away with the professional politician if you really want some help. The 1% got this on lock, guys. I'm trying to get into the 1%. I'm trying real hard. I'm going to keep trying. But they got it on lock right now. The average American who was earning minimum wage in 1980, right? Right. They could get himself an apartment, was spending like 49% of their income on housing. Now, today, you have to be a college grad to live the same lifestyle. This is why I keep saying that's the 80s. This is why I keep saying, right? Wages have not gone up since the 70s, late 70s, early 80s for the vast majority of Americans. Yet the 1% has made, money hand over fist over the same time period. They're getting record profits. Even when they mess up, they getting paid the golden parachutes. Like, it's crazy. Brother Penny's like, some Uber drivers have said that the cost of maintaining their vehicles dramatically offsets their profits. That's a fact, bro. I drove Uber when I got into the family law system, when I was getting pounded by the federal law system. They bent me right over. And you notice I'm not saying pause. They bent me over and gave it all to me, bro. I was getting pounded. I went out there and had to earn. I had to start doing stuff. Went out there and started driving Uber. And you're absolutely right. I went through 2 cars driving Uber. I went through two vehicles driving Uber, bro. Like, it is what Uber did for me, it gave me a cash lifeline. That's all it did. It enabled me to cover my basic expenses, and it was a little bit left over so I could, do some things. I couldn't really save because I had to really spend the money, but it just bought me time. That's all it did. It bought me time. And it got to a point where I would rent the cars. And that was the smartest move. Like, well, let me rent the Uber. Uber had a program out in California through Budget, and you can go and rent cars with Budget. And then you would hit the road. You could rent the car for a week or for a weekend or whatever you wanted to do. And that's what I began to do. They kept the wear and tear off of my vehicle, because I was on my 3rd car. Right, I went through 2 cars. Now I got a 3rd one. I got a little baby SUV. I was on that, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and use this for Ubering. But it turns out I didn't. I began to just rent cars. And so the way it would work, you would, come in with your paperwork, or whatever, your ID, and you can actually buy the extra insurance through them. And let's say that the rental per day, we're just making up numbers here. Let's say the rental per day was $100. You're going to rent it for 3 days. That's $300. And instead of paying them the money would come directly off of your Uber earnings. So, like, okay, I got to pay $300 for the weekend. I'm gonna have this car for 3 days. So let me go out here and really go hard. I would go like, 10 to 12 hours the first day, and I would get like, $200. Then the second day I would go out and do like 7-8 hours. Right. And then, okay, it's taking me a day and a half, a day and a quarter to earn the money for renting this thing. Now I'm into the profit part. Right. I'm into the profit part. And then, of course, I had to pay for gas too. But so like now I'm into the profit part. So that 3rd day, the 3rd full day was all profit. If I really wanted to make money, that's when I had to go do it. And again, that'd be another 12-hour day and stuff like that. But when I was wore out, man, I was so wore out. But that's what you had to do. And if you were using your own vehicle, hey, bro, you were putting so much wear and tear on your vehicle. Like, the money you made, 60-70% of it went right back into maintenance. Like, it was crazy. Brother Michael Deal is coming to the point. We are getting to the point we are going to have to live off the land. There ain't no land to live off of, bro. It's all been poisoned, man. Like, the air and all that, the water is all messed up. There ain't no land to live off of. What's going to have to happen is people are going to, we're coming to a head. Something's going to happen. I don't know what, but something's going to happen. And I mean, honestly, bro, what's going to happen is the 1% are going to have to cough up some of this profit. They're going to have to reinvest into their workers. They're just going to have to do it, because if there are no Americans out here that can afford to buy stuff, then they're not going to have any profits at the end of the day, because stuff is just going to stop. The whole machine stops. Like, the people at the bottom have to have enough money to buy stuff, right? So it doesn't matter what you're making if there's no one there to buy your product. So what's going to happen is if they make those changes in those political changes, so people have a voice in Washington. At the same time, just hey, rich people, 1%ers, y'all gonna have to cough up some of those profits. Point blank, period. So I mean, it is what it is. Oh, Joe's in the building. What's good, fam? Good to see you, man. Brother D Mac is in the building, man. Good to see you, fam. Unless you have term limits, the corruption will not stop. And that's a fact, bro. Absolute fact. We got Brother Man Joe in the house. What's up, man? You know what I mean? Yeah, we got a SF guy, we got a former Marine, we got a paratrooper. What's good, Base Oracle? How you feeling, bro? Bent all the way over, fam. Base Oracle knows what I'm talking about. He's dealt with the family court system. It's like, I think Uber for most people equals short-term, semi-income, long-term minimum wage. That's a fact, bro. That is a fact. I mean, there's just no other way around it. Brother D Mac is like, one of my bosses is clocking at least $235K a year. I found out dude drive Uber on the weekends. That's insane. But if you can make money, it's just the profit margin is so slim. A lot of people, not a lot, but some people in LA who were driving Uber. I came across a woman who was driving, just when Teslas first came out, she had a brand new Tesla. She was driving Uber. Like, why are you doing it? She's like, I'm bored. I need something to do. The kids are older now and they're doing stuff. And she only would drive during the days. She was just hoping to have a conversation here or there. But most of the people I met they were doing it. They had to do it to live. They had to do it to have spending money. It's like, if we don't drive Uber, we can't come outside. Some people, like, they have to drive Uber to pay for their groceries. And this is before the pandemic, bro. This is before all that. Afterwards, oh my goodness. I mean, it's just crazy, man. He's like, yeah, Brother Pablo uses Lyft. Same thing. You know what I mean? Same thing. Brother Jack Black in the building. What's good? Well, I hope you're doing good, man. How much longer are you going to be at the academy, man? Like, when's your graduation date? I'm just curious. Brother Penny's like, while I'm in favor of term limits for politicians, I'm curious to know how well they'd actually curb undesirable behavior. Wouldn't the nefarious practices utilized by politicians to stay in office simply be replaced by extreme ideas they could deploy once they know they're at the end of their career? Possibly, bro. What I think would happen is, let's say that anyone who's elected to the House of Representatives at a federal level can only have 5 terms, right? That's 10 years. You have 5 terms. I think what would happen is those last 2 to 3 years is when they're really trying to do good things for their state, for their district. I think that's what they would do. I think because now the money doesn't matter, especially that last term. It's like those last 2 terms. And I think what would happen is the people who rock with them are going to keep them in office so they can do the good things. So in order to get back in office, you're going to have to really produce. But you're right. They might just find a different way. The money becomes dark. And then, there's always going to be backdoor bread, bro. Somebody's going to be, there was a politician, I forget his name, years and decades ago now at this point. The authorities went into his office, man. He had hundreds of thousands of dollars in his refrigerator in his office. Like, he was just taking cash bribes. And I think the feds caught him. It was the FBI. I forget his name. But like, it is what it is. Brother Jack Black is like, graduation day is the 10th. Wow, that's fast, bro. Man, they run y'all through that quick. I thought you'd be there for at least a month and a half. Wow. Graduation day is the 10th. I'm doing good. Got 95 on my test today. Outstanding. That's a Don DeMarco right there, if I ever heard one, son. Don DeMarco. Then I got hit with wake turbulence, and it shook my whole world up. Yeah, man, you gotta look out for wake turbulence, bro. Wake turbulence is a thing. And terminal, man. Just remember, you're launching big airplanes, bro. And I don't even know if they're, because you got the heavy, you got large, you got heavy, and then they got super. So you got to be careful crossing runways and all that kind of stuff. Go arounds, low approaches. Wake turbulence ain't no joke, man. And then that 3 minute, you need the whole 3 minutes, bro. Don't try to get cute and be like, well, I issued the clearance at 2 minutes and 45 seconds and he didn't roll until 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Don't try to get cute. Don't try to run a squeeze play when you got wake turbulence involved. And know your types, man. Know your small pluses. Know your largest. You got to know this stuff, bro. So study harder, but it sounds like you're doing really good. Your brother Michael Lee, DL, not to change the subject, do you think the AI will take over the sanitation department because I am employed with waste management? Yes, I do at some point. I don't think that it's going to happen. I think that the white collar jobs, AI gets hits first. I think that's, when you're looking at HR, when you're looking at attorney jobs and stuff like that, when you're looking at paralegals and, anybody who does any kind of research, I think AI hits those first. And it's not going to just get rid of them completely. Like it's just, let's say you have a 10-person HR department where they're going to get that down to like 2 or 3 people. And, let's say you got a stable of attorneys, like same thing, 10 attorneys, they're going to get that down to like maybe 2. So, but eventually, yes, I see it coming for sanitation. I see it coming for, even yard work. Look at all the robots out there now that you can buy that can cut your grass. Right? You got robots that can cut your grass. You got robots that could probably clean your house. So yeah, it's a matter of time. But I think your job is safe for the time being. The tech involved is massive. So once you see like everyone has a driverless car, like once that happens, then you might want to start getting worried, right? But yeah, it's definitely going to come. Like, think about it now. I'm sure the tech probably already exists. Once the truck can drive itself, all it has to do is pull up and then line up with the little grabby hand and grab the trash, dump it, open, and then move to the next one. So, but I just think that they're going to go after the white collar jobs at first, before they work their way down to the blue collar jobs. But yeah, man. That's a good question, man. I appreciate that. Brother D. Mack, like term limits will stop the catering to special interest groups and lobbyists that dominate politics. Facts. And once you do away with that, because think about it. Once upon a time, the lawmakers used to write the law. Lawmakers used to actually write the law. Now it's the special interest groups, right? They write the laws. The lobbyists actually write the laws and give it to the lawmakers, to the elected officials, and the elected officials just walk it into into Congress. So you got to bring that back. Casual Fam 2 is in the building. What's good, fam? What up? It's like, you are correct. AI is coming for 80% of the jobs that we know of. Facts, bro. Facts. AI is coming, and we know it's coming. So it behooves us all to figure it out. These robots are going to have to be repaired. Now, the first generation, maybe the first 2 generations, humans are going to repair the computers. But after that, I think AI is going to repair AI. So the future looks crazy, man. I don't know what's going to happen with my daughter and the world she's going to live in. To be honest with you, man, it's crazy. You're not wrong. AI will hit white collar jobs first. Instead of it being 30 people, now it's less 5 people, even for food, everything. Yeah, man. They're look what happened in California when they announced a $20 minimum wage. All these companies knew it was coming. So what were they doing? They were investing heavily in AI so they can automate their burger joints, so they can automate, hamburgers and fries. And guess what? It works. It works really well. AI computers are making the hamburgers out there. I think there's a McDonald's in Pasadena, 100% automated. 100%. There's a human walking around just in case the computer needs a human hand to do something, but everything is automated. Brother D Max, like, I'm a software developer manager. AI write programs for us fast. I don't need 10 developers. We are down to 2 developers. You see, blue collar people, it's a matter of time before it comes for us, but it's going to come. I'm already retired, but and it's funny too. Like, Brother Jack is probably in one of the best fields for this because AI isn't smart enough. Well, AI is too expensive to run the American air traffic control system, so they're going to need humans, because it would be a massive, probably $1 trillion or trillions of dollars invested to make that safe. And if it's just one mistake that they can pin on AI, the government loses so much money. So they're going to keep it with humans right now, but it can be done. I know pilots talk about it all the time, but the pilots don't understand the true nuance of what's going on in America with the American national airspace system and the kind of freedoms that are afforded to people. There are people out there just get into their airplane and just start flying. So you can't do that in most countries on this planet. So it's really hard to use AI right now at the level that AI is, because it would cost so much money. You would need true, like self-taught, self-thinking, damn near aware artificial intelligence to run the American national airspace system. So someone like Brother Jack or anybody else who manages to get hired by the FAA, I think that those jobs will be the last one to fall to AI. You know what I mean? So let's get back to the video. I'm definitely going to show every chat, guys. I'm going to show them all. Might not be able to read them all. And of course, if anyone puts in a super chat, I'm absolutely going to read that.
Some of the comments for this video. You're not supposed to spend more than 30%, which I'm pretty sure is the rule for your mortgage, which I mean, if you don't have a mortgage, would be your rent. I'm pretty sure it's no more than a third. So 30%, 33%, basically the same. Another comment, I have a bachelor's degree and we're not making 24 an hour. That'd be nice if we made that, but it's way lower, which
that guy has a point. I've got another video I want to drop on here, but yeah, these people are coming out of college with, you know, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 and up in debt, and they're making maybe $17 to $22 an hour. You know, some like the cream of the crop is doing really well, but everyone else, man, they're struggling to find work. And it is what it is. This next video, this is brother Hayden Schreier V2. I know I hacked up his name, but both of these videos will be linked below in the description. Check it out for sure. Definitely want you guys to check this out. This is the video I really just wanted to react to, but I saw that other video from brother Zach, and I was like, man, that information up front was really good. So brother Pablo with the $20 super sticker, man. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Just showing love, man. No comment, just showing love, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, brother. Listen, y'all. I mean, just so you know, let me put my whole face up on here, man. I truly appreciate everything you guys do for me, bro. I really do. The engagement in the chat, the comments after the post goes up. I'm looking at the analytics, and it's because of y'all that, you know, the system, the AI on YouTube is starting to push this content, man. I really, 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 truly appreciate y'all, man, from the bottom of my heart. Once we get this thing going, man, and the money turns into something decent, I definitely want to give back and come up with something, man. Like we have some sort of get together, some sort of party somewhere. We just want to figure it out, man. Or like when I get the merch, when I finally get some merch, trust me, y'all day ones, man, y'all getting that merch. I'm sending it to you. I'm sending it to you. That's the least I can do. So I really appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much. You know, brother Casual wants to know, what does it mean when AI takes all the jobs? It means that Andrew Yang, yeah, Yang Gang guys, is going to be universal basic income. That's what's going to happen. This country is just going to have to pay people a basic amount of money so they can survive. I think that's what's going to happen, bro. It's either that or, like brother Pitney is saying, it's going to be like Elysium, where the rich folks move to the moon or some space station somewhere, and everyone else is just, you know, like cockroaches and rats down here just trying to struggle to make it, man. No one really knows, man. It could be some really nice Star Trek-esque utopia where we just build in spaceships and travel in the cosmos, or right, it could be, you know, like Road Warrior, what's that Denzel Book of Eli type world where it's just a wasteland where people are just have nothing and they're just trying to survive day by day, and then, you know, the wealthy folks or those who do have are gone and they just leave everyone else behind. But yeah, that's a really good reference. That Elysium was a decent movie, bro. No, Joe, like we should reject that AI service, self-checkouts of all kind. I do, bro, and I do it because I'm union, but I understand that it doesn't matter. You know, if Americans knew what was good for them, they would reject that. I do it all the time. Every time I'm in Miami, I go to the same CVS because I'm always staying pretty much at the same places in Brickell. And I go in there and, you know, they're like, okay, you can just go self-checkout. And same thing. I only had a handful of stuff. I maybe $10 worth of stuff, maybe 20, I can't remember. But the guy was like, yeah, you just go over over to self-checkout. I just put stuff down and walked out. He was like, you're leaving? I'm like, yeah. He was like, I'll do it for you. So he did everything. And he was like, okay, all you got to do is pay now. And I like, you know, I paid. And he was like, you were just going to walk away? I'm like, yeah, bro. And I'm doing this for you. Like, I'm retired, man. I'm union. I'm retired. I don't use this. They're going to use this to take your job, fam. This is why I outright refuse to use self-checkout. And he sat there and he thought about it. He's like, wow, I shouldn't use self-checkout. And I'm like, I wouldn't if I were you. And he thanked me. He's like, man, thank you. I'm like, yeah, I'm looking out for you, bro. So, but people just rather save 5 minutes. They don't care. Americans are just not programmed to think. But I'm with you, Ojo. They're just not programmed to think, man. So this video here, it's a really good video. The title of this video is Rent Prices in 2024 are out of control and it must be stopped. And my thing is, I don't care how high the rent prices go, just pay people more. If you're not gonna control the rent prices somehow, pay people more. These corporations are making record profits, bro, and they're not sharing it with anyone other than the shareholders, man, and the people on the C-suite. Right? I mean, again, I'm a capitalist, bro. I don't like communism. I'm all about it. I'm 100% capitalist. But here's the thing: if the average American household is making less than $100,000 a year, and the median cost of a home in America is $400,000, that math don't math, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Right? If the average American is making $35,000 to $45,000 a year, and a new car costs $60,000, that math ain't mathing, because we're talking gross, y'all. We ain't talking net. We ain't talking net. You're making $45,000. You're not netting that. And Americans don't have the ability to thought. We don't to think. We don't teach our kids to think anymore. I'm always teaching my daughter to think. I'm constantly challenging my daughter to think. These kids they're not taught to think. They're told what to think. And they're just growing up into this world where they're just batteries, man. They're breathing batteries. That's all they are. And no one sees it. I mean, how can you not see this as a problem? But let's check out this video. Hold on, let me pull it up here and bam. Damn. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. Y'all know I'm just you big dummy. All right, let's try it again. Here we go.
Besides the fact that I'm extremely struggling to pay my rent every month, you know how I realized that it's really, really bad out here? I live in the hood, okay? I live in the hood. First moved in, it was 100% black. And now, I was just walking my dog and this white guy was like, to me,
they wanted living in the storage unit. I was able to get electricity so I could start cooking. Tonight, I'm going to finally be able to stretch out while I'm sleeping. It's actually better than sleeping in the car.
I told myself I would never cry on the internet because I think that's so lame. But I just got our rent renewal thing for our apartment complex, and it's going up by $300 a month.
Rent prices over the past year or two have gotten absolutely out of control. I mean, we're seeing several $100 increases in just a year's time from renewing your lease. And it's pretty disgusting if you ask me. I mean, I've been affected by it. I'm sure you guys have been affected by it. And I have a couple of videos that I want to show you about other people that have been affected by the crazy rent increases and rent hikes that we've been seeing. If you guys have had any experience with this or your rent has increased, please let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear it and talk to you about it. How much has your rent increased by, and where do you live? How old are you? Let me know. But let's dive right into today's video.
I told myself I would never cry on the internet because I think that's so lame. But I just got our rent renewal thing for our apartment complex, and it's going up by $300 a month.
That's worse than mine, and kind of. I'll explain more in a second.
$300 for
That's
a
crazy.
1-bedroom apartment that is not updated in any sort of way. And our complex doesn't even have like nice amenities. Like we have a tiny pool and a tennis court. Like this is not a luxury apartment complex.
Depending on where you live, you're seeing stuff like that. Like if you're anywhere on the West Coast, if you're renting in California, I would say Washington, even Arizona, Nevada, if you're in places like Dallas, Atlanta, DC, of course, New York, Miami, parts of Fort Lauderdale, like Broward County a little bit. And even here, like if even Hillsborough County here in Tampa, or if you're downtown Tampa, Even an hour away, like the Lecanto area, rates are jumping like crazy. Some properties are keeping them down, but the newer properties, they're jacking them up. Why? Because they had to lower the rates just to get you in there. So probably what happened to this young lady, they jumped on the deal like, oh, this is a cool deal. And the property probably gave them some sort of deal where they lowered the rent. Like they gave they took off a couple months or something like that, which lowered it by 300. But what's going on now? Okay, you've been here a year. We're putting you at our normal rate. This is where it's supposed to be. And there, and what happens is you get in there, you're nice and comfy, you like it, you don't want to have to move. And that's what they hit you with, like, bam. I used to see this a lot in California. I saw it in LA, I saw it in San Diego. I heard about it in the Bay, especially with the nicer properties, the newer properties. They're trying to get they're trying to get it filled up. So they'll cut you all kind of sweet deals, right? And you have to like you get in there and it's like, oh, this is great. And then they just jump it up to where the rate really is. And you're stuck. You're like, damn, $300. Like that's a huge difference for people who are barely holding on. $300 increase a month for just living. We got to tack on $300. That could be, the majority of your car note, or that could be your insurance. That could be, you're looking at that and like, that's a lot of money. Where am I going to come up with $300 plus, utilities and all that other stuff? Brother D Mac with the $20 super chat, man. Appreciate you, brother. If you know it's going to rain all week, will you buy an umbrella or just complain about not having one? AI is coming. Embrace it. Facts. And that goes to brother D Mac's chat here. Like, DL, if you know it's coming, you should be preparing yourself for the change. And this is why we have this platform. This is why we're having these conversations, guys. This is why we're having these conversations. If I tell you, January 31st, 2025, you're coming down range with me and Brother Mandrell, you're going to be in combat, you best start training. You best start training or best start running. Because we're telling you what's about to happen. Prepare yourself. Like we're telling you guys, and we're telling you like the 1%, they got a lock on this, boys and girls. They ain't going to let it go, not without a fight. And I mean, just a legal fight. They're not going to let it go unless the rules change. So, why would they? So we're telling you right now, AI is here. It ain't going nowhere. AI is taking these jobs. Man, you better get on board or get ran over. Right? If you're going to go out here and bust your ass, man, make this extra money and place this money somewhere where you can benefit from it. Yes, I would absolutely. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm not a financial person, but I would absolutely look at AI-based companies and start investing 100%. I would 100% start looking at that. 100. I will be trying to figure out how to make money on Wall Street because that's what the 1%ers are doing. They're making it. They're just rigging the game so they can gamble all day, all night and gamble with our money. And if they lose, they just get a bailout. So, try to figure out a way to capture some of them crumbs that are falling off that table above us. This is what's going on right now, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it sucks. I get it. But don't just sit back and give up. There are ways to make bread. There are ways to capitalize on this. Brother Mandrell is saying people in corporations are buying the houses and putting them up for rent, not for sale. Yep. And there was talk about DC doing something about that. They're trying to force the Wall Street guys and the venture capitalists and the people, the money market guys what's that term they use? The guys who control these big pools of money and they invest. I forget what they're called. But yeah, that's what they're doing. They were putting money, especially when interest rates got all, were all low and all that. They were buying properties. It was the safest place to put their money. They were making some good returns and they just kept doing it. But Congress is trying to stop that. They're trying to get them to pay these crazy fees because they're buying starter homes. It's not that they're not out there buying McMansions and renting those out. They're buying starter homes. They're buying the homes that people would normally buy, which would be in that, 175 to 250 range, which is crazy that's a starter home these days. Starter homes used to be like 50 grand, 75 grand. So in some places it's still like that. Like in some places in Ohio, it's still like that. But that's what was going on. Hedge funds. Thank you, Scam. Scam Likely is in the building, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Scam Likely is in the building.
It'll be like,
Damn, I keep hitting the wrong buttons. Scam is in the building. So yeah, man, the hedge fund guys, they were talking about making these penalties, trying to get them to offload these properties. But I don't know what happened with that. I think they stopped. You know, I think the 1% put an end to that, or they're not going to talk about it until after the election or something like that. I don't know. But Brother D-Mac, like, yeah, we're still in the early stages, bro. Absolutely. Absolutely appreciate that, Brother Pablo. The hedge fund guys, I couldn't think of it. I was like, what the? Yeah, I mean, so let's continue.
we already pay with all the fees and everything included $2,000 a month, and now we're going to be paying $2,300 a month for this tiny apartment, and that's just so frustrating. I don't understand how people can
$2,300 a month for a one bed is incredible. That's a lot of money. $2,300.
live in this world anymore, and I just don't want to move again because that's so much work and more money, and it's stressful trying to find another place, and it's just so annoying. And now I feel like I need to get a new job, and I just got this job and I like it, but it's not paying me nearly what I need. And so now I'm gonna have to go through applying to jobs again, which I did for like a whole year plus until I found this job. So I'm
Now that part right there, you just whining because times are hard. Oh, it's hard and I'm crying. Whatever, that's how it is. But remember, like I said, they probably got in with that deal. They got the $300 off, and then the first year's up. It's like, oh, now you got to pay this. And they're like I said, she got comfortable. They were happy. It's two of them in there. It's two of them in there. Yeah, that's a lot of money, but it's two of y'all. So, you know, strength in numbers, put money away, work together. But a lot of people don't do that. It kind of gets into the, you know, the kind of red pill lens when it comes to dating and all that. So like a lot of guys, we tell guys this too, like, man, be careful moving in with someone, especially a woman, because you get in there and, you know, your money is her money and her money is her money. You dig? And that's just how the game works with some people. So you got to be careful who you're dealing with. Find you a woman who's willing to work and share and contribute so both of you guys can succeed, especially when you're younger. So just, again, be careful, guys. And it's crazy, you know, moving in with someone is, you're taking a chance in today's world, bro, for men and women. If a woman goes off and screaming and someone calls the police because they hear you guys screaming through the walls, police show up and the guy has a scratch on his face, bro, the police are going to take that lady into custody straight away. Ain't nothing you can do to stop them, fam. If you try to stop them, they're going to arrest you too. So, you know, we'll talk about that down the road. Be careful with cohabitation. It could be a problem today. And Dr. B was like, man, 2,300. Like, I was renting a house for less than that. Depends on where you are. Yeah. Yeah. LA. When I left LA in 2020, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath in a decent property in North Hollywood, which is in the Valley, North Hollywood, California. The 2-bedroom, 2-bath, just under 1,000 square feet. It was a split bedroom floor plan. It had gated parking, you know, security, elevators, pool, hot tub on the roof. That was $2,800 to $3,200 a month when I left in 2020. God knows where it is now. Like, bro, LA is no joke. I don't know if prices have stabilized or gone down because so many people have moved away, but I doubt it. I mean, it's just crazy. Brother D-Mac, like, my heart goes out for a lot of people that don't understand the direction we are headed in, right, man? And these people who don't understand that, man, like, they're not thinking this through. You got to prepare yourself, bro. The storm is here. We're at the outer bands of the storm is hitting us right now. This young girl right here, she's like, man, I just got this job. Things were doing good. And bam, I got to move. And it's just tearing her apart. If you're young and you can move back in with your parents, do it. Do it. Go out there and work. Work all the time. Work 2 full-time jobs and a side hustle. Work yourself to the max. Redline yourself. If you give mom and dad, whoever you stand with, a little bit of money and stack up your money, right? Make sure your credit is right and buy yourself a multi-property. That's what I would do. if I were young right now. If I were in the military, just come out of the military, I would definitely, I'm gonna move in with mom or dad. I'm gonna work myself to the bone. I'm not gonna party. I'm not gonna kick it. I'm not buying nothing. My car, I'm going to the auction and buying my car cash money. Like I'm gonna reduce my expenses. That's what you guys should be doing, in my opinion.
Have to go through all that again. It's just not fair.
$2,000 a month.
All right. So, I mean, I'm going to give you a little backstory of myself and my predicament or dealings with rent, how I've experienced it. And then we'll continue on. But I'd love to hear your opinions on how it's affected you and what you guys pay. Maybe it's different in your state from where you live, but I grew up in New York, specifically on Long Island. I was able to get a 1-bedroom apartment that I was able to split with my girlfriend. It was built in the 1940s, legal 2-family. I lived on the top floor. There was no parking in the driveway. I had to park on the street. And it was a 1-bed, 1 bath, I think maybe 580, 600 square feet. And it was $1,650 plus electric. Water and gas was included. $1,650. That was in 2021. Prime time pandemic. Very hard to find an apartment. I got lucky. I had a good credit, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward.
Check one. Check one. I think I'm back. Check one, check one, check one. Yo, can y'all see me? I'm back now. Can you hear me? One in the chat if y'all can hear me. 5x5. Cool. Appreciate that. Bro, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. Not sure if the Matrix was attacking. Not sure what that was, bro. Holy crapperoo. It was a server issue. It wasn't like YouTube sending me a nasty gram or anything like that. Looked like it was some sort of server issue, bro. Not sure what happened there. Yeah, not sure what happened there. Normally if yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, that's definitely what I get for telling the truth. Like Brother Mandrell, like, yeah, that's what you get for telling the truth. Yeah. Brother IRS was like, them boys interfering. Them boys, them my people, bro. Yeah, I don't know. I rock with the Beastie Boys and all. Them my boys. Them my people. I don't know what happened there. But what we're going to do is, because there was one part there that old boy was talking about. I wanted you guys to hear. Like that living in New York, what was it, Long Island? or Rhode Island, wherever he said he was living, at 1,600. That was insane. But he was talking about how something happened. I want to bring that up. Appreciate you guys. I want to bring that up. I think we're good. I'll do it. I'll try. And if we get shut down again, then we'll know what it is. But let me find this video. But I really believe that it was on my end. I really believe it was on my end. Like, I think something happened with, I'm thinking it's probably a lightning strike or something like that kind of messed things up. We got Uncle Luke in the building. What's good, fam? Bro, I saw your comment when we were DMing back and forth. I didn't run from it. Something came up and I had to take care of business. I'm going to respond to it because you're right. Uncle Luke and I and DL saying we're back and forth on Instagram. I'm telling you guys, man, just reach out to me on Instagram. It's all good. And we were back and forth on Instagram, and we were talking about how the Black community should at least consider the Republican Party. And what I was going to tell you, bro, is a lot of Black folks, especially wealthy, conservative Black folks, most Black people are conservative. They want to. But when the Republican Party gets hijacked by the fringe and they start doing crazy stuff, you just can't do it. It's like, unless you're Candace Owens or somebody, you just like, man, we can't rock with them people. they tripping right now. Ron DeSantis talking about, slaves benefited from slavery. Have you lost your damn mind? And then people coming, well, what he really tried to say was, what he meant was like, man, I heard what he said. So that's the problem. I agree with you though. I know this is a shift from what we're talking about, guys, but I just saw Uncle Luke here and I'm like, yo, since I got him here real quick, let me holler at him real quick, let him know. We gonna finish that conversation, bro. And I look forward to breaking bread with you, man. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely you guys join Castle Club if you haven't already done so. Most of the people over here who rock with us came from Castle Club. But yeah, we're here in Tampa. Uncle Luke is down here in the Tampa area. He's part of the Tampa City group. Man, we get together and do stuff all the time. It's a true brotherhood, man. Talking about Castle Club. But I'm gonna do a proper show on Castle Club. It's a true brotherhood. I'm happy to be a part of it and help growing and maintaining and growing this network. But let's get back to old boy's story. Check this out.
To 2022, 2023, landlord was selling the house. The new buyers were kicking us out. That whoever bought it, end of the lease, they were going to kick us out. So we had to move. We were looking at places in Florida, specifically Fort Myers, where I currently am. And we're like, holy cow, a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 1.5 bath with a den. We're talking from 600 square feet to 12 or 1,100 square feet. Double the square footage. Only 1 year old, less than 1 year old apartment, brand new amenities, all that was only $1,850. Plus, Florida has no state tax. New York has 6.3% state tax, which is crazy, or income tax. Anywho, we're talking about a $200 jump in price, maybe a $200 jump in price that we'd be paying a month. But we got double the space. And there were other apartments, smaller, brand new for the same rent. But we decided to go a little bit bigger since we were making a little more money. And we moved and we took advantage of it, especially since we were saving money on taxes. We figured it would balance out. Well, 1 year after our lease ended, they renewed it at $2,050. So we had a decision to make because they were increasing rent $200 more a month. We declined it, and I actually had to somewhat split a house rent with my parents. That's a different story for another.
But did y'all hear that though? His rent went up $200, bro. Fort Myers, Florida. Fort Myers. Now I'm pretty sure he was in a good neighborhood and had decent amenities and all that kind of stuff. But you see what's going on. It's to the point where you can't find any affordable housing in America. He went from New York, the state of New York to the state of Florida. He's in Fort Myers. I mean, yeah, there's some pricey areas in Fort Myers, but Fort Myers ain't no Miami. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no Palm Beach. It ain't no Tampa. It ain't no Orlando. It's Fort Myers. Right? You know what I mean? Get on the east side of the freeway. So $200, man, that's a huge bump.
Video. That's where I'm currently living with. So they, visit from time to time as their winter escape for, to come to Florida, and we split rent. I'm still paying $2,000 though.
That's
It's the same
average.
thing as if I was to stay, but we went with bigger. Might as well pool our money. We get more stuff. But $2,000 is what I pay now. But guess what? You know what my old apartment that we left, where they raised it to $2,050, is currently being sold at? They want $2,400. So I am lucky, supposedly, because our rent theoretically went from $1,850 when I left. Now, if I want the apartment, it's now at $2,400. They increased it $600. So it's like, it's insane. We literally left New York, Long Island prices to escape, and now Florida has creeped up to become the same as what New York once was. So,
and that's an exaggeration. I mean, he got a great deal in New York. Florida is still way cheaper than New York or way cheaper than LA. But it's like Brother Jack saying, you know, Brother Jack Black is like, yeah, bro doesn't realize people like him caused it though. So many people moved to Florida because it was cheaper. Yeah. Right. Why are people asking for more? Because they can get it. That's why. And you have some properties in Florida in good neighborhoods, like in Orlando, Tampa, you know, all over Florida. You have properties who they don't want to raise the rent. You know, you get yourself a property that's kind of struggling a little bit. Now they'll be more than happy to keep you there. You know, I know people who have been in Florida for about 4 or 5 years, and their rent has gone up maybe $100 in that time frame, maybe $100. Right, it goes up like maybe $50 to $60 a month. You know, we're talking about a 2-bedroom. So, like I said, but it's not. You know, you got to really do some hunting, find a place, because if you go to a brand new property, man, that's a wrap. You can't even talk to them. A lot of times you can go in, negotiate a little bit. Nah, bro, you go to a really high-end property, man, they ain't hearing that shit. They're like, this is what we want. If you don't want it, get out. Especially some places like 80% capacity. But if you get into a place that's like 50% or less, they'll work with you. So, I mean, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work.
oh, you have to keep running at this point. You have to keep changing states if you want to stay ahead. But it's exhausting. Moving is exhausting.
And my rent is $1,660.
Sadly, this is getting to be the story of pretty much everybody out there. I haven't rented since I was in my 20s, so I've been out of the housing market forever on this shit. But I tried to help my niece get a place about 6-8 months ago, something like that. And she was telling me everything she found was $1,900, $2,300. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, sweetheart, you just let me look for you. There's something out there, $500-600 a month that's decent. Nope. I'll find it. There's not. Like, how? I mean, why? Why did we get to this point? Why is just a decent place to sleep and cook and survive exist? Why is it $3,000, $4,000 a fucking month? I mean, it's ridiculous. Something's got to change. Otherwise, we're going to end up with half the country homeless.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, there are options out there for people. You do have multiple options out there. You can either live in the slums, you can live in the seedy part of town, and that's where cheap rent is. And then you just have to, you're probably going to make up for it in medical bills, given the sketchy scenario that you've been putting yourself in. So, yeah, that's one option. Not the best option. I would rather not live in that part of town.
That's always been a thing, bro. It's called gentrification. You see it everywhere. There's always some beatnik bohemian type folks moving into the hood. And but they know that area is about to get renovated or whatever. There's going to be money put into that area, and they're just kind of ahead of the curve. You always have that, man. But now that's what everyone is doing. And you don't have to go straight to the hood. There is a happy median in there, but like the hood, but you go places where it's not as safe. You go places where you are worried about your car being broken into. You see the broken glass everywhere. You see that the curbs are messed up. You see the potholes in the road, right? You see, people out, at midnight, 1 a.m, kids running around. That's a bad neighborhood. I mean, it is what it is, but you got to do what you got to do, right? It's either that or move, and yeah, the average rent in America right now is about $2,000 a month. So, there's people over there paying well over that. Here in Tampa, you can be paying $3,200 a month for a 1-bedroom. They got them. They got them downtown Tampa, Channelside, stuff like that, High Park. They got them. Or you can be in Oldsmar, town and country. You can be in that area and pay about $2,000, $2,100 for the same type place. It won't be as nice. It's not a high rise. You won't be surrounded by yuppies, right? But you can save a little bit of money.
And if that's the case, then you either have to get roommates, you have to split rent with a significant other, and even that's getting very hard to do. You probably are better off having, 3 roommates splitting, a full house 4 ways. Most houses now are like maybe around here, they're like $3,000, $3,500. That split with 4 people, if possible, if there are 4 rooms, is less than $1,000 a month. That's reasonable. Less than $1,000 now for rent is good. I know that's crazy, but that's one person. Less than $1,000 is good. Your other options are living at home, living in your car, or being homeless. It's really getting to that point. Rent is very expensive now. And now I'm starting to see things flip. Now I'm starting to see there's so many complexes being built in Florida, and so many that can't even finish construction because of the interest rates, that they're just sitting abandoned, and people are abandoning their new construction. Or there's tons of new finally finished apartment complexes that are bone dry empty. And we're just now starting to see the prices in Florida dip a little bit. I'm on the West Coast. Don't know how it is on the East Coast. I'm sure it's not any different.
And he's right about that part. You're starting to see some dip. You're starting to see some change. I mean, people are leaving. So demand is going down. So these properties are forced to adjust to the market. So that's what's going on. And you have people who are outright refusing to pay. So, again, people are coming in negotiating. There's no more, okay, I'll take it at that rate. It's like, well, I'll take it at this rate. You want 25, I'll give you 21.50. Well, we can't do that. Okay, bye. I qualify. I earn, I make the money. I qualify via your standards here. I can pay all the downs and deposits and this and that and blah, 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 blah. It's one of your better units. So no, you're going to pay what I say, because I'm going to go around the corner. There's another property identical to this, and I'm going to go over there and make them the same offer. So they'll like, yeah, okay, cool. They'll let you in. They'll figure it out.
Literally have $7.41 in my checking account right now, and all I know is that God is faithful. I'm not worried about all the other stuff. You know why I have $7? It's because all my bills are paid. He provided a way for my bills to be paid, and now I got 2 legs at work, and I'm going to the gym. All for His glory. Period.
I mean, she seems like she's in denial at that point. I mean, it's like stress denial, or like being stress happy. It's the only thing keeping her sane and moving forward, because to have $7 in your account after, literally, you just need one thing to go wrong and it's all over. Everything's falling down. I mean, she gets 1 flat tire, or she needs 1 new tire. Let's just say something breaks in her car that costs $500. She's screwed. Literally screwed. So she can be happy all she wants that she broke even this week, but that is not a comfortable place to be in. That's not a comfortable life to be living, where you have to be worrying constantly. You're literally like this, teeter-tottering on the edge of a tightrope. So not the best way to live. I mean, congrats, you paid all your stuff off, but something's got to go. Either you are spending way too much money in some aspect of your life, car payment, rent is too expensive, getting your nails done, getting your hair done, eating out all the time. Something's got to get cut down, because you should not be ending every week or month with $7 in your bank account.
So that's the thing right there. Americans can't afford to live in America. I would venture to guess that there's a good percentage of Americans living like this young lady is talking about she's living right now. Right. And how does this tie into what we talk about over here with dating? Right. That young lady is out there. This is why these women get frustrated. They're like, they're not paying for half their meal because they don't have the money. They still want to go out. Why is she in the gym? She knows she got to keep her body right. She's got to keep her looks on point. Right. She knows this. I mean, forget about, the sex work and all that, because I'm not saying that that's the case. But for a woman like they got a young woman who's attractive, she knows that, all right, if I can just pay off all my bills, I can still get somebody to take me out. She can put on a nice outfit, go down to the bar, and someone's going to buy her a drink. Someone's going to chat her up. Someone's going to offer to buy her an appetizer, right? Men, y'all need to understand something. Everybody in America fucked up. These women ain't out here talking crazy because they got some sort of complex or whatever. They ain't got it. And they want someone to provide them with experiences and money and help them out so they can get it. They wanted someone that's going to come save them. They're looking for Captain Save-A-Ho. It is what it is. They out here living the dream. You want to be alpha. You want to, be independent. Well, this is what it looks like. I'm pretty sure that young lady has school, like student loans, right? She still got to buy her makeup. She still got to buy her cute clothes, right? She still got to buy her Chardonnay. She's got $7 to her name. I'm sure she has enough groceries to get her to, through the next 2 weeks. But that's where the game comes into play. She in the gym for a reason. Let me make sure I look good so some dude can ask to take me out and I can go get something to eat. I remember I took a woman out. It's about a year ago. Took a woman out to Ocean's Prime. It's a chain. It's a steakhouse. I know they have Ocean's Prime in LA. And they have one here. I'm sure there's some more. I think there's some in Texas or whatever, but it's a high-end chain. Nice place. I take her to Ocean's Prime. This woman is ordering the biggest steak on the menu. She's ordering all this stuff, like all these appetizers or whatever, like all the fixings, all these sides. This is a little petite thing, bro. She couldn't have been 120 pounds soaking wet. And at the end of the day, she took all that with her. I should have said no and made them take it all away. And that's when it first hit me. This was a couple years ago. I'm like, she just had me buy her food for the next 3 days. It'll take her at least 3 days to eat all that. And that's when I realized, like, okay, we're into the 1980s game. We into the chicken head game. These women out here really trying to get it. Okay. Right. So like, okay, now we got to go hard mode. So it's like, okay. Now I don't just start with ice cream dates and going walks in the park. I stay there. Until she offers to take me somewhere. She offers to pay. So guys, y'all got to keep that in mind. That young woman we just saw who was talking about all that money and stuff, not having that money. I mean, she's paying her bills, but bro, and she's got that credit card, which is she's carrying the balance on that credit card too, or whatever credit card she has. Like, bro, old boy is right. She gets a flat tire. It's a wrap. Like, it is absolute wrap. Probably like she might be doing OnlyFans. She might be, but it's not going to pay. Like people think OF pays a ton of money. It doesn't. Only to the people at the top. Only that top 1% or better really making that kind of bread. Right? I mean, she could become an exotic dancer. She could go work in a strip club. Probably do better than OF. Right? But a lot of women don't want to do that. There are plenty of guys who will come out here and like plenty of simpletons that'll take them out to eat and do this sort of thing. Man, that's part of the game. I ain't mad. Right? Right. Yeah, that's why you put them in rec use only, bro. It is what it is. It's the game. That's what they playing. And they'll, you know what I'm saying? They'll trick for the treat. You feel me? They'll trick for the treat. It's just you and them. They like you. They really do like you. But they'll trick for that treat. They'll trick for that, for the steak dinner. Take it from the steak dinner, talk to them, but you got to know who you're dealing with. Right? You got to already be having her talking that sexy talk, like that nasty talk, like she ready to get it in. Right? She better be telling you them stories about band camp.
It'll be like this one time at band camp.
She better be telling you the stories and be ready to let you get it. You know what I mean? If you're going to take her out like that. Is that sex work? Nah, that's just flirting. That's getting what she wants. She's digging you. She wants you. She's not going to let just any old body hit. She want you to hit, or guys like you or better. So that's just part of the game. That's part of the game. But you can absolutely get shorty to go out. You can get shorty to come over and Netflix and chill, so long as you providing her with, come over. We could come over here and drink. You come over here and do whatever. We could chill over here, watch Netflix or whatever, and bang a little bit. You can make that happen. Right. No Disney princess treatment. Right. Let them earn it, bro. Bands to make her dance, bro.
Besides the fact that I'm extremely struggling to pay my rent every month, you know how I realized that it's really, really bad out here? I live in the hood, okay?
That's literally what I just said. Your only bet is to now live in the sketchy part of town.
The hood. The hood. Garbage everywhere. People's dogs not tied up. Pit bulls running around. Litter, dog poop, people riding bikes, women of the night down the block. Like, I've been living here for a year and a half, And when I first moved in, it was 100% black, like 100% black people. And now I was just walking my dog and this white guy was like to me.
Listen, honey, we're all struggling out here, regardless.
Facts. Everybody is struggling. Shout out to the Tokyo General in the building. Jay in the building. What's good, fam? Yes, yes. Our Tokyo General. Yes. Castle Club is an international worldwide network. Jay is in Tokyo. You know what I mean? Government contractor, former military, sharp brother. He know what it is. Southern brother. He out there wrecking shop out there in Tokyo. And, you know, he's checking us out on X. Shout out to everybody who's watching us on X right now. This is why you want to be involved with this network. You want to be involved with Castle Club. Guys, listen, I know there's a lot of dudes out there that's like, look, I ain't crazy about the politics. I ain't crazy about, you know what I mean, the deep state stuff. Don't worry about that. In Castle Club, this is men helping men. We got brothers out here who can help with any kind of issue you may be experiencing, bro. Like how to progress at the job, how to work on your fashion, how to work on your fitness, how to talk to girls, how to work on your game, how to work on your finances. And you're talking with individuals, just other dudes like you, just figuring it out. Brothers like Jay out there. Like, yeah, imagine that. Imagine you take a trip to Tokyo. Like, man, I don't know anybody out here. If you're in Castle Club, yes, you do. You got a whole team of people out there. Like, we got people in Tokyo. We got people in our Ontario, Toronto, Canada. Right, we're about to split it off and have some other people on the west side of Canada. We got the east side taken care of. We got people in Australia. You got people in the United Kingdom, right? We got people in Europe. We got people in Africa. We're everywhere. Like we're everywhere, all over the United States. So if you guys are listening to this, if you're checking this out, man, hey, listen, this is something you might want to consider. It's like $35 a month. $35 a month to get you into this network. I mean, bro, it's worth $35 just to see. And let's see what's going on, right? If you're down here in Florida, if you're in Miami, we got a Miami chat. The rest of Florida runs out of Tampa. We're right here in Tampa. One of our best generals here, right here west, Colonel Sanders. You guys know him. You old school, fresh and fit people know him, right? We're in Charlotte. We're in Atlanta. We're in D.C. We're in Boston. We're in New York. We're in Chicago. We're in Cleveland, right? Houston, Dallas, Seattle, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, right? And we're open. We're going to be opening up chapters in Colorado, in Arizona. Right, we're gonna be opening up. Hope maybe here's pretty soon in Philly. So I'm telling y'all, it's a great organization. Like we get to Vancouver, yeah, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna branch out. We're not just gonna stop. All of Canada right now is running through Toronto, but we're gonna open up the West Coast. And Brother Michael, that's why DL, I don't understand. It is hard to make ends meet, and people are having babies without using their top head instead of their bottom heads, bro. That's Mother Nature, man. That's how we're designed, bro. That's how we are designed to reproduce, man. And it is what it is. I wish I had an answer for you, bro. It feels good. Like people like going in, shooting up the club. They like to get crazy with it, bro. They get in there, they see a dime, it's like, get some. Get some. As they just be in there, they shoot it up like, yeah, get some. It is what it is. I wish I had an answer for you, bro. Like it takes a little bit more discipline, man. It takes a lot more discipline. It is, I wish I had an answer for you, bro. Brother AJ, I think it is worth it, man. And if you don't like it, if you don't like Castle Club, you can just leave. You're not obligated. You don't have to pay for a year up front. It's best that you pay for a year up front because you get a discount, but you don't have to pay for a year up front. Just pay monthly. And if you don't like it, leave. If not for you, move on. That's if you don't want to do that, you can join the CEO network. Fresh has its own network. And we all work together. So maybe that will be more suited to you. Maybe you would join Rich Cooper's organization. Maybe you'll join MTR's organization. There's everyone is coming up with their building these communities. I really like Castle Club. It is what it is. So let's finish listening to this sister talking about the hood.
Of skin color. It's irrelevant at this point here. Sure, there are some stereotypes. We're not going to get into that. But at the end of the day, it's hard for everybody. It's not just one. But it's funny how she's seeing from a different perspective. Oh, when the seedy side of town starts getting other races and nationalities in it that typically are not there, we're in a bad situation as a representation, as the entire economy, not just one race. Everybody is getting affected by this, clearly.
Facts.
And again, you don't have any options. I would suggest, as everybody says, renting is a waste of money. Don't put your money towards rent. That's a waste. You're pissing your money away. That doesn't go to anything. Buy a house. Have you realized what's going on in the housing market? Have you realized that the houses are now, if you want to apply for a $400,000 home, which is cheap, at a 6.9% interest rate, you're looking at a $3,600 payment, not including maintenance, upkeep, and all the other junk that comes along with it. And that's with a 20% down payment to avoid the PMI interest.
That right there, bro. That right there. That's the bottom line. You ain't got to say no more. The average American cannot afford to buy the median home, period. Something needs to happen. There are no more starter homes. The starter homes were bought by Wall Street. The hedge funds managers snatched them all up. That's it. In order to get to the $400,000 house, you had to start with the $100,000, $200,000 house first, build some equity, and then move up. And then that opens it up for somebody else to come in and get that starter home. That's the problem. He broke it all the way down. You know what I mean? It's like, you're going to need 20%. 20% down on $400,000? What's that, $80,000? Like, the average American can't come up with $500 in the case of an emergency. Who has $80,000 that they sitting on that's young? Who got that kind of bread? You're going to have to get it from your parents if they got it, right? So think about that. That's to avoid the PMI insurance. And he was like, oh, that's what, like 30, what did he say? 31, 35, something like that. But once you get into your homeowner's insurance, especially if you're down here in Florida, come on, bro, you probably be looking around $4,000, $4,100 a month on that house. Easy. And then let the pipes burst. My cousin at his place, man, pipes burst, destroyed the living room. The ceiling, everything had to be redone. It's being done now, right? But it just, even with insurance, and that's a racket. We'll talk about that one day. That what they doing is should be outlawed. But you still got to come out of pocket, right? You're still going to wind up digging in your pocket, coming out with $5,000, $6,000, maybe $8,000 to get everything squared away. So I'm telling you, bro, man, Drill's like, that's why I love VA, man. How cheap is it there, bro? Oh, the VA. That's why he loves the VA. Yeah, VA. I'm looking at multi-properties right now, as a matter of fact. I'm just kind of riding this out, waiting to see what the interest rates do. But, we definitely worldwide. So, bro, if everybody wants to know what Brother IRS looked like, man, just go to my Instagram. It's a picture of Brother IRS and myself on that yacht party that people said wasn't any fun. I had a blast. Cool brother. Real cool brother. Shout out to you, man. Yeah, that PMI is crazy, man. Let's continue.
You can't buy a house nowadays, literally until the price of a mortgage, the interest rate on a mortgage comes back down and it's actually cheaper to get a loan on a house. I'm going to be stuck renting. As much as I'd like a house, I can't afford $3,500 or $3,000 or $2,500 a month. It's impossible. Not with all the other things that come with it, let alone your utilities are going to be much more expensive because now you have a house to take care of and not just a 1-bedroom apartment. I mean, it's tough. My only other thought out there is getting a legal duplex and renting out the other side to pay for your mortgage. But even that comes with its own set of risks that we can't go into.
Yes. Now, all of a sudden, I've seen at least 4 of the apartments taken by white people.
Madam Speaker, the rent is too damn high. The rent is too damn high. We have people across the country struggling to keep a roof over their heads. We are the wealthiest nation in the history of the world outside of ancient African civilizations. Yet we cannot provide housing for every single person in our country. We have CEOs making record profits. We have...
Just before I forget, because New York reminded me of that, and I'm definitely going to forget about it. But in New York and maybe some other places, they do have something called, I think it's, I'm already forgetting. It's like rent that is capped, kind of like you when you join an or you enter an apartment complex. Certain areas have max rental increases. Like the most you can raise rent is 3% a year, which is fairly insignificant compared to other things. But even then, they it's capped rent. If the word comes to me, I'll throw it in later on in this video. But there are places out there. Again, it's very few and far between, and it's very hard to get into those. You need I think New York does a lottery to get in, but otherwise, for the general population, most people are getting affected, and they're getting astronomical rent increases. I mean, when my girlfriend and I got our apartment here, and then they raised rent $200, it was so funny because 2 weeks before, my girlfriend got a raise of 3%, I think like $3,000 or $2,500 or something. And we were all happy. We went out to dinner to celebrate. And then 2 weeks later, our apartment complex gave us the new rent lease. And that was $2,500 for the year, and we were like, or $2,400 for the year. And we're like, what the hell? Literally the bonuses that you get when you think you can finally get a little more in your savings account get shot out the window. This gone. Like literally all the happiness that we had from her getting a raise went pissed right out the window when we get slapped with the rent increase that literally sucked all the money from the bonus right out. Literally all the money went right out to that. Plus you got to think the raise that you get gets taxed again. So you're really left probably in the negatives at that point. We were probably paying less even with the raise, or paying more even with the raise, still ending up, cutting into our savings. But it's horrible.
And what he's talking about before, he was talking about rent controls, a lot of rent control in LA. I know there's a lot of it in New York. In LA, it was income based. So you couldn't make over a certain amount of money. And I don't remember what it was, but $60,000 is what's ringing around in my head. So I didn't even qualify for a lot of rent control, and I could be wrong. But, you look at this and what he's talking about, like, yeah, we're doing good. And, we got this bonus at the end of the year. Yay, us. And then, boom, you get hit with $200 increase in rent, $2,400, more a month, which how much was your bonus? My bonus was only 22. So you're losing, like you said, and you got to pay taxes and all that on that bonus. So you didn't really get to keep all that. But Americans can't afford to live in America. That's where we are right now. There's no getting around it. That's just where we are. Brother Mandrell, Brother Pablo was saying that I guess the Harris administration is throwing around a $25,000, I guess, tax credit for first time home buyers. Okay, that's cool. But if you still got to come up with $80,000 down to avoid PMI, that $25,000 tax credit ain't gonna really do you that much good. I don't imagine. Brother Mandrell is right about the VA loan, man. No down payment, depending on the state. There are no property taxes. Florida is one of those states. And Brother Jack is like, with $40,000 down on $400,000 house, so a $360,000 fixed 30-year mortgage at 7% is $2,420 a month. Not sure where bro did the math. Yeah, on 400, and he was saying with the 20% down, so it would have been for it to be 80. It would be 80,000 down, right? Is that right? I'm just using stupid math, because my math brain ain't that great. But it's probably the interest rate. Who knows what interest rate he plugged in there? And then like a PMI and all that. And brother, that's what I was gonna say, Brother D-Mac. I don't think that includes insurance and property taxes at all. So once you add insurance, property taxes, it goes way up. But you have to definitely add that in there. I'm not sure what calculator you're using, but it's definitely out there. Yeah, man, the insurance especially is killer. Like, it's killer, bro. It's killer. The insurance and the property taxes, especially if you're somewhere like New York, California, Vermont, Connecticut, I don't know about Georgia, but there's some states out there that just kill you with the taxes. Let's continue.
Corporations making record profits. We have corporate landlords suppressing and oppressing and evicting tenants without just cause while continuing to raise the rent. We call on President Biden to take executive action on this issue. We do not have a healthy democracy or a healthy society unless we take care of our tenants and our working class people who are working 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week just to survive.
Someone's time's expired.
Thank you, and I yield back.
All right, so I had to mute this girl talking here because she was playing music that I'm probably going to get copywritten for. But you can see here, rent is so expensive that minimum wage workers need 3 roommates or 4 jobs to afford a 2-bedroom apartment. Granted, I don't know why you would need a 2-bedroom apartment unless you have a family, but even in that case, that's tough. But what I wanted to show you is she brings up other states and in reference shows how much you'd need to make to afford it. And I thought it was very interesting. As you can see here, she has the hourly wage required to afford a 2-bedroom rental home by state. And they have below 17, between 17 and 23 and above $23 an hour. Alabama is the 46th highest housing wage. It's required to be making $16.32 an hour required to afford a 2-bedroom rental home. That just seems unreasonable to even possibly fathom a 2-bed unless you are splitting it with a roommate. But even then, it's not worth it. Like, your only options are a 1-bed with a significant other or a 4-bedroom or 3-bedroom with roommates. That's the only possible way. But it says hours of work needed at the minimum wage, 90 hours a week to afford a 2-bedroom rental home. What am I missing here? Can you even work that? I mean, that's like typical work hours are 40 hours a week. So what are you working every single, practically 5 days a week, like multiple? I mean, if you work 10 hours 5 times, even if you worked 10-hour shifts for 7 days a week, every day for a week, you'd be at 70. So you're talking about like 12 or 14-hour shifts, basically killing yourself. You wouldn't even have time to live in an apartment.
Buy a house where my rent is going up another $195 a month. It has gone up $720 in 4 years for the same place that I live in. $8,640 a year more for the same place I lived in 4 years ago. I'm sorry, property taxes are not going up that much that landlords are charging that much more. We have to stop blaming the economy, the government, the president. It is greedy people taking more profits in.
Yep.
When people tell you just move somewhere else, why would I move to another state that's cheaper? Why should I have to uproot my family, lose my career, just to afford to live somewhere? You're implying
the only reason I can afford it is because we moved when we were like 22, 23. In your 30s and 40s, it's going to be much harder. And moving sucks. I hate moving all my stuff. It's a lot of work. And I usually do it myself. Next time, I'll probably have to hire a moving company because it is so horrible. It is not fun.
Live in where I live now don't deserve a fair shot at cost of living. And places with cheaper rent pay lower salaries. That's how this whole thing works. For
that is very true.
And my girlfriend's a teacher. Like, if she moves to a state with a cheaper cost of living, she might not even have a pension or her benefits anymore. Instead of telling the middle class to keep looking somewhere cheaper, why don't you all align together and get people out of control that are doing this to us? You were always close.
And it's called a rent.
So this is what people got to understand, man. It's all about the greed. It's 100% greed. That's what's going on right now. It's greed. It's greed. And those people who are raking that money in or telling you and people who look like me and people who look like this kid right here that it's the other people's fault. The reason you can't afford rent is because of the Latin person or the Asian person or the black person, and it goes all the way around. Smoke and mirrors. At the end of the day, we are here because of greed. That's it, plain and simple. Right? Corporate America and the 1% is too greedy to share profits with the very people who make the profit in the first place. That's what it boils down to. They took away your benefits, right? They took away your medical, they took away your dental, right? They give you stripped down health benefits that you were paying most of the way. They took away the pensions, right? All that money went to them. All that money went to the bottom line. They take away hours when they can, right? They take away overtime and they like, oh, we're not going to make you full time, so we don't have to pay you, the proper overtime time and a half. We do this Chinese math thing over here. Man, they do all that, bro. That's the problem. How do you fix it? Well, first you got to acknowledge it. Acknowledge the problem. Acknowledge the problem. That is the problem. So Everyone, team this is blaming these people over there, team that, blaming them people over there. At the end of the day, right? You look at the Trumpers and the Harrises and, the wealthy Republicans and the wealthy Democrats, bro, they're wealthy. They got that bread, bro. At the end of the day, they can take their vacations. They can fly in their private jets. They can afford to go to Carbones or Mr. Childs or Fig and Olive. They can afford to have a world-renowned chef come to their house and prepare a meal for their friends. They can afford all that, bro. They got it. They've never had more money ever since, like I said, going back to the Gilded Era, probably back to like the 1920s here in America. They got that kind of bread. Right. And then here we are. Everybody else is sitting here trying to figure out why they can't afford to take their kids to McDonald's and get a Happy Meal, because the Happy Meal costs $50. Like, I'm exaggerating, but y'all get my point. I took my daughter to Burger King last night. She likes the chicken nuggets. Got chicken nuggets and a chicken sandwich with fries and 2 drinks. But it was $20, over $20 for that, bro. It's over $20 for that. Like, that's insane. For $20, I can buy 4 CPK frozen pizzas at the grocery store and have change left over. The stuff is crazy. D-Mac is saying if you are in the military, you can get away without paying PMI, or you don't have the 20% to put down. That's definitely a problem. If you got to pay the PMI, man, I just and everyone in California, like in the LA area, they were all paying PMI because the properties are so expensive. Like, you're looking at between $600,000 and $800,000 gets you into a starter home in LA. That was when I left in 2020. I don't know if it's gone up or down, but I'm pretty sure it hasn't gone down. There's been no crash. So, I mean, it is what it is. Brother Jack Black, like, I definitely should at least did 4 years when I was 18, but I regret that. But at the same time, I wouldn't be in OKC right now becoming a controller. So just got to play my cards I got in my hand and save. Bro, what you need to do right now, graduate, get out of the academy, get you your facility. Once you get to your facility, you need to certify. Once you certify your facility, right, your probation period will be over, because it's going to by the time you certify, it'll be over a year, right? While you're working, bro, save your money every time you get differential pay, because once you get on the schedule, as you're training, once you get on the schedule, you start getting Sunday pay, you start getting night pay. Put that money aside, just right off the rip. Any overtime you get, put that aside. Any differential pay you get, put that aside. Just live off your base pay, right? If you're getting CIP, and if you can, put half of your CIP aside. Max out your TSP. Do those things. Stack that money, and then when you're ready, buy yourself a multifamily, like we talked about, right? You know the play. Like I said, man, you're out there in Oklahoma City becoming a controller. I'm so proud of you, bro. I'm so happy. I can't wait till you graduate. I wish I could be out there for your graduation. I really do. But definitely let me know where you land. Let me know what facility you're going to, Brother Jay. I wish I had DL Saint and the Worldwide Network when I was 20 years old. Now you can have it all for $35. Facts. Y'all better get in, Castle Club ASAP. We in too many states and countries to name. And as Brother DL says, we just getting started. Factual, bro. That's the biggest thing, bro. If I had someone out here saying the things that we're saying now when I was in my 20s, bro, yeah, we're looking at least, I'd be up at least, being extremely conservative, I'd be up at least $1 million. At least $1 million, man. That would be just in properties alone. I had one guy trying to tell me and my people to buy properties when we was out there doing that nonsense in the streets back in the 90s, late 90s, and I didn't listen. We should have listened to him. Man, properties were going for as low as $3,500 in Cincinnati at that time. The city was giving properties away for $1, bro. All you had to do was qualify for the loan to rehab the place. So the loan had to be like $20,000 or something like that. But the city gave you the house for $1. You just had to do the rehab. And then they rolled that program over to multifamily. So you can buy like duplexes and triplexes, $1. I'm waiting on that shit to roll around again. Bro, I just think of all the money I wasted, man. I could have bought, I'm not even exaggerating, guys. I could have bought 10 properties easy in Cincinnati, in the Cincinnati area, between the neighborhoods I grew up in, between Bond Hill, over the Rhine, Kennedy Heights, Elmwood. I mean, there were properties everywhere. Everywhere. At least $1 million up, guys. So just like I said, learn from our mistakes, y'all. Just learn from our mistakes. We got a general in here, Brother Jay, former military, just like me. He's out there living in a foreign country. I never lived overseas when I was outside the military. And he's got a lot of experience, bro. And for, like I said, for $35 a month, you get access to him. You get access to all of us. And we're just doing good things, bro. This is crazy. Brother D-Mac, what I learned later in life is this. Before a bill gets paid, I'm putting 15 to 20% of my payment in savings, or in the stock market, I paid myself first. Man, you got to do that. You got to do that. You got to do that. Especially when you're single, guys. Especially when you are single. You're not going to miss that money. You just get rid of it. You never really see it. You can set up your pay however you want, man. Set up allotments, man. That money gone, so you don't get used to it. It's gone. You'll adjust to the money that's left behind, and you'll adjust your lifestyle accordingly. Put that money over there and watch it grow. Watch how fast it grows. It's gonna blow your mind, Brother Michael DL. It's never too late as long as you have breath and see another day. It's never too late. Yeah, it's never too late. I'm not saying it is. I just look back on it like, wow, look how much money I left on the table. No, it's never too late. I mean, I just closed the deal today. Like, I'm always doing stuff. Like I'm always in a mix somewhere. There's always, opportunities out there, bro. And people need competent individuals. Like, it is what it is. And if you're willing to work hard, and if you're willing to make it happen, you can make it happen. You can go punch a clock if you want to, if that works for you, fine. Or you can go out there and just network your way into situations and get your value from those people that you're working with. Like, I'm constantly working on stuff, man. It's never too late. Brother D-Mac, in Atlanta back in 96, you could buy a property with $1 with a 0 interest loan to fix it up. Wow. You know what I mean? Yeah, those opportunities are going to come again. And for you young cats out there, this is what you want to wait on. Get your money right. You save that bread and you wait for the opportunity. Right? There are a lot of people losing their properties right now. People are losing their homes, man. Even with the interest rates and all that, people are losing their homes. They're having to walk away. People got in at the top and they just can't handle it. Right? The insurance have gone up. A lot of people buy more houses than they can afford. They're like, don't worry, the equity's going to go up. We'll be fine. We'll figure it out. But no one was expecting a 35, 45% increase in insurance premiums on their home and their car. No one's expecting that. No one's expecting to lose a job, or no one's expecting gas and food costs to skyrocket. No one's really expecting that. So now they're in a situation like they really can't afford this and they're falling behind. So, a lot of stuff is going to be on the market. There are a lot of corporations that put themselves out there. They took on too much risk, and they got strip malls out there that they're not going to be able to afford. These loans are coming due, and they're like locked in at these loans at 2%, 3%. Now they're looking at 7.5%, 8% to service the same loan. They can't do it. The bank is going to take the strip malls back. That's what I'm looking for. Let me find a strip mall. You find a strip mall with a hair shop, barbershop, little beauty salon, little a convenience store in there. Bro, I'm jumping on that. Let me find that. I'm jumping all over that. Let me find myself a small little strip mall somewhere. I'm all over it. Right? So you're gonna have that, man. Have like a laundromat in there, maybe like a massage place. I'm all over it. I'm taking that all day long. That's what I'm looking for. So y'all just gotta think about it. Dr. B was like, wow, that's nuts. Yeah, bro. Those were some great deals. So, but yeah, man, Americans can't afford to live. Right? It's here, y'all. It's here. We talked about AI a little bit. We're talking about, how you're going to be able to sustain yourself and your family moving forward. It's here, y'all. So it's time to figure it out. If you're young and you can get out of the apartment that you're in, Go back and live with mom and dad if you can. Grandma, aunt, or something like that. Pay a reduced rent to them and go out there and work yourself to death. But you're doing it with purpose. Get your 2 full-time jobs. Go ahead. You got your main job to go get your job at Target and then maybe do Postmates or Uber or whatever and stack money. Don't worry about going out. Don't worry about popping bottles. Don't worry about, buying, designer stuff like watches and clothes and that. Man, don't worry about all that. Don't worry about wearing Jordans. Stack your money. I mean, treat yourself every now and then. You get, get yourself some time off, get yourself some downtime, go out, let your hair down or whatever. Don't get into relationships, right? Keep up your social game by just talking to your coworkers or whatever, but don't get into a relationship. Don't do it. Give yourself 3 to 5 years. Stack your money. Find out how you're going to move forward. Okay, I'm going to go into mom and dad's house. I'm going to stay here for 24 months. And when I come out, I'm going to come out into a fourplex or a duplex or whatever. Right? If you're former military, like, okay, I'm going to use my VA and this is what I'm going to get. Start watching the market. Do what D-Mac is saying. Take your money, take 15, 20% of your money, and invest that maybe in the stock market if you want, or put it in your 401k or whatever you're doing and invest it in you. What did you say exactly, Brother D-Mac? 15 to 20% of my payment in savings on the stock market. There you go. Savings. Find a good place to park your money. Stack your money. Have a plan. Like, I'm going into mom and dad's. I'm going in here to work myself to the bone. Explain to your parents what you are doing. I'm coming in here. I'm going to work myself to the bone. Don't worry, guys. I'm young. I got a strong back. I can handle it. Let them know you're going to be working hard. I got 2 full-time jobs and a side hustle. I am going to be working constantly. So no, mom and dad, I'm not going to be able to run errands and all that kind of stuff for you guys. I'm just here to sleep. Come in, sleep, take a shower, and I hit it. Get right back out there, hit the bricks. If you can do that. If your parents aren't going to let you do that, if your parents are going to try to get crazy and try to charge you these crazy rates and all that kind of stuff, then come up with a different plan. Right? Maybe go ahead and find 3 other roommates and just rent a room somewhere. Just rent a room and do it there. Like, I'm just going to rent this room. I'm going to get my expenses down as far as I can. Now it's funny because you could be someplace like LA renting a room and still be paying like $1,200 a month just to rent one room. Just to rent one room. It is what it is. Now, the same thing out here in Tampa. You might be able to rent that same room in Tampa for maybe $600-$700 a month. But get your expenses down. Don't finance a car. Buy your car cash money. Go out to the auction and get your car. Buy cash money. Get yourself a good mechanic. Stack your bread. Set your goals and reach those goals. Once you hit those goals, man, you come out of that situation. You coming out into your fourplex. Now your money is making you money. That's a good investment in you. Still working hard, but you got 3 other people paying for your rent. Now you saving at least whatever you were spending on that room. Now you saving that money. Now you can reinvest that into yourself and continue to do that. Get yourself a second fourplex. Right? Stack it that way. Learn that game. This is what y'all need to be thinking about, in my opinion. That's just how you do it. Brother D-Mac, like, as I listen to this guy speak, it becomes clear that you literally need to plan 10 years ahead to get ahead in this game. That's the fact. That's the fact. You can't just Mr. Magoo your way to success anymore. You got to plan this shit out. You got to plan it out. And everything you do has to be planned out. Stick to your plan, make it happen. Don't get sidetracked. But I ran into the most beautiful woman ever. She's perfect. If she's perfect for you, then she'll make sure you keep working hard. You tell her your plan and she's going to get on board with your plan and make sure she keeps you working. Here's your lunch, babe. Don't forget, you got to do that. I'm going to take care of this and this and that. Don't worry, when you come home, it's nice and clean, right? She's there to make sure you're good. If that's the woman and she's on board and she's helping you become the best version of yourself, then okay. Okay. She's not going to want you to take her out. No, we can't go out. We don't have enough money to buy our place yet. We're almost there. We only need, $10,000 more and we can get into that house, that fourplex. If you find that woman, okay. But if you just find some girl who's cute and she wants to play with your little PP or whatever and wants to bounce up and down on you, man, don't mess with her, bro. It's going to mess you up. You are going to fail. Don't mess with her. Brother Mandrell's like, bro, $600 a room, like $600 a month for a room is crazy. Bro, that's, yeah. I think I haven't looked into it, but I wouldn't be surprised. $600, yeah, easy 600, depending on the size of the room. If it's a bathroom in there and all that kind of stuff. Like I said in LA, man, it was like $1,200, $1,200 for one room. $1,200, one room, right? Not the whole house, your room. So that's all I got for you guys, man. I hope you enjoyed that. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about some red pill talking points, man. We're going to be talking about the dating market, sexual market, and what's going on with this. And here's the thing, bro. Like I said in this video, guys, if you're out here talking to women, understand one thing. Their situation is just as bad, if not worse than yours. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, bro. The women who are able to go out here and do their thing and have these experiences and pop these bottles, these are women who are older and are a little more established in their careers and stuff like that. For the young people out here, you still in your 20s, man, that chick over there just as broke as you are. So why are you spending money you ain't got on her? If she ain't spending money she ain't got on you, y'all could be broke together walking through the park for free, bro. Get yourself some ice cream, man. Like get 2 scoops and share it. You know what I mean? 2 scoops of ice cream in a cup and 2 spoons, and y'all could just walk around and share that. And if she does that, she's into you. Then that's someone you might be able to work with. Right? But you get some woman who's just like, yeah, I want you to go into debt to take me to some, dining experience that they can't afford to take themselves on, bro. You need to be careful with that. You need to be careful, gentlemen. Brother D-Mac is right. Good credit, nice savings account. That equals a rare brother. Facts. That equals a rare American, my friend. That equals a rare American at this point. Mass Americans, look at the defaults that are going on with credit. Look at the defaults that are going on with cars. A lot of cars are being repossessed. Right? Look at that. And there's some defaults are starting with homes. Right? A lot of Americans are in a bad place, man. They are in a bad place. So think about this, guys. If there's anyone out there that you think this video might help, man, do me a favor, shoot it to them, clip it up, shoot it to them, or shoot them the whole video. In the description below, we'll have the 2 videos we looked at. Go check those videos out, man. There's some pretty good videos. They put out some really good information. It's not a black thing. It's not a Latin thing. It's not a white thing. It's an American thing. America's broke. Something is about to give. I don't know what that's going to look like moving forward. I don't know, but something is going to give. Right? You can't bail yourself out of this one. I don't think stimmy checks are going to be the answer. Right? Have anyone looked at the debt clock lately? I know Base Oracle has. I saw it on his podcast. They're looking at the debt clock. Yeah, I know we bring up the debt clock every now and then. As a matter of fact, let's bring it up right now. Let's bring it up right this instant. Hold on, give me a second, guys. Find this thing. Here it is. Yeah, let's look at the debt clock, man. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, you know what? I got to go. Actually, I got to change this. Hold on. You pull this up real quick. National debt clock in real time. There it is. Look at this, guys. There it is. U.S. national debt, $35,283,593,000,000. And you can't even keep up with the rest after that. There's no way that's getting paid off, bro. There's no way. Not without a war. Not without a war. We're almost at $1 trillion in defense spending. There's just no way that's getting paid off, guys. Look at that. That's the debt clock. Right? There it is right there. We need WW3 just to wipe that clean. China holds most of that debt. We need China to get froggy and jump so we can go ahead and beat them at a war and not have to pay all that debt back. Just kind of do what we did in Japan and give them a little bit of money to rebuild. Same thing we did in Germany and Italy. Give them a little bit of money to rebuild, but we ain't paying none of that debt back. In fact, we'll hit them with a bill for making us jack them up. You know what I mean? We gonna pay. You have to give you a bill for making us come over here and beat y'all up. So there is no getting out of this debt, guys. There is no more kicking the can down the road. This is it. Kick the can down the road is gonna bounce off a brick wall and hit us right in the face. So D-Mac, like D-Mac said, We are simply pointing out a fact. We are in it, guys. Welcome to the shit. We are in it. And how are we going to get out of it? We're going to have to work hard and be smart. Look at what the 1% is doing, kind of model what they're doing and get the bread. But that is how we're going to have to do this. Look at that debt clock. Look at that. All right. So I'm going to end with that, guys. I appreciate y'all rocking out with me. Thank you, brother D-Mac, man, for the super chats, man. Thank you, brother Pablo, man. I appreciate you. You guys are amazing. Thanks everyone who was watching us and checking us out, who stuck with us, even though we got struck by lightning and it kind of messed up the server for a hot second. But y'all kept rolling with me, man. I appreciate each and every one of you. Shout out to everyone watching this on X. I don't spend a lot of time on X, but I do all my broadcasts. I'm here Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're right here. I Really Want to Know podcast on YouTube and on X. That's just where we are, man. I really appreciate y'all, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that this helps someone out there. Send this to whoever you want to send this to. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes. Continue to do that. Please like, please subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm DL Saint. This is the I Really Want to Know podcast. I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.